So many of my buddies, when I went to school at Virginia Tech on my hall, they were dying to play guitar, but they just said, there's no way I can ever learn that. They see all these strings. It looks like so many strings, even though there's just 6. They see all these little squares. They see these little dots. They think you have 5 fingers and you're going up and down the neck, and it looks like you just don't have the patience. You don't have the talent. You don't have even the drive to get all fancy, to memorize all this stuff, to play certain songs. And you're probably right. So the question is, does guitar have to be hard to learn? I would say there's 2 answers. For one, the first answer is, if you learn a certain way where you're going to get really good at lead guitar, individual notes, and you're going to go up and down the neck and know all these skills and patterns, and you're working this hand and this hand back and forth, up and down the neck, it is going to be super, super tricky. And I would even go as far as to say the majority of people probably they don't even have the talent to be able to do that. Not everybody, but most people, at least that I've taught in person, doesn't even have the talent to do that. What I want to kind of stretch your mind to think about is, if you really, really simplify the guitar, then instead of looking at all this fancy stuff, you kind of eliminate all this, and you kind of look at 2 frets. So each of these squares, you see these little bars here, it's a fret bar. They separate the guitar strings into 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, and so forth. So if you eliminate all this stuff up here, up and down the neck, and you kind of simplify it to 2 frets, now it's way easier. So instead of all this fancy stuff down here, we're just looking at these 2 frets here. So there's 6 strings. 6 times 2 is 12. So you really just got 12 options. Well, I guess you got 18 counting the open option. But open, or 2, 3, open, 2, 3, open, 2, 3. That's really the only place we can press if we're just looking at these 2 frets. So the Matt McCoy way that I teach guitar is, even your fingers can get complicated, but if you're just using your peace sign, just your first finger and middle finger, now it's something you can play. These are your dominant fingers that you can actually move pretty good and control these pretty good. So the Matt McCoy way is, you put the pinky finger on the bottom string of the 3rd fret, ring finger on the 2nd string. Those are going to stay there and not move the whole time. You're going to play thousands of songs, thousands of worship songs, thousands of country songs, all that kind of stuff, by keeping those 2 strings locked. And that's going to stabilize your guitar. So instead of taking your fingers up and down, in and out, and spread and up and down, you're just going to keep them right here. Those aren't going to move. And you're just going to move these first 2 fingers. So a G chord is 5th and 6th. And you just take a pick or your fingernail and just rake down all 6 strings. For a C chord, your next chord I teach, all you do is take your top 2 fingers and move them both down. So instead of 5th and 6th, you slide down to 4th and 5th. And instead of strumming all 6 strings, you skip that top one and strum the bottom 5. The next chord I always teach is a D chord. Again, the easiest way to do it is keep those bottom 2 planted there, and take your first finger on that 3rd string, 2nd fret, and strum the bottom 4 this time. And the last chord, all you're going to need is an E minor chord. Again, you can use 2. You're going to press the 5th and 4th string together. I use 1 finger because I have larger hands. If you have smaller hands, you can use 2 fingers like this. Again, you're going to keep them both in that 2nd fret. I have larger hands, so I press right between the middle and strum all 6. These are what I call the Matt McCoy 4 chords. G, C, D, E minor. And so forth. So just moving your 2 fingers on 2 frets, you can play thousands of songs. And I always tell people, especially if you're a beginner and you have a short attention span like this guy, focus more on getting a sound you recognize, playing a song you know, singing along. You could even use this if you need to change the key of a song to fit your voice better. You can clip this up and down the guitar, and all you do is wherever you clip this, now this is the 1st fret. These would be your 2 frets you use. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, pretty baby. Some glad morning. That's in my first worship songbook. Guys, I have 2 worship 4-chord songbooks. 4-chord volume 1, 4-chord volume 2 for worship songs. And then 2 country worships. Took me 2 country 4-chord songbooks. What that means is every single song in the digital songbook uses the Matt McCoy 4 chords. If you don't have those yet. G, C, E minor, and D. And what a digital songbook is, every song has the first verse, the chorus, the second verse, the bridge. It's got the entire song with the lyrics and the chord in the proper placement over it. And then the title has the title of the song that you can click on that title and it shows you a lesson of me teaching that song. If you haven't checked one of those out, go to acousticselection.com. All one word, acousticselection.com. And hopefully there's something on that site that can help you on your guitar journey. So the question I started with is guitar hard to learn? The answer is it depends. It doesn't have to be, guys. You can learn 4 chords. G, C, D, and E minor, and play almost any song you can think of. So what's stopping you from learning? I don't know what it is, but it's time to lose it and get learning this great instrument. If you want a kind of a really set format with lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, check out my beginner guitar course. All that stuff is on acousticselection.com. One word, acousticselection.com. I pray it can be a blessing to you. Thank you guys for stopping by. Please subscribe. I'll catch you tomorrow.